Well, at the beginning of the year 2012, we have a very common question which arises for everybody. That is this world going to end? Or the days of Armageddon is near? Actually, this question arises because of the Mayan civilization calendar, which ends up in the year 2012. And many says there are a lot of other resources also tells the same. But there are certain beliefs and faiths which says this world will end, and this world how to end, and it has to uh, the it has to be rebuilt. The world have to be rebuilt. What does that exactly means? What does the Armageddon means? Armageddon is a word uh, said in Bible about a battle which will happen at the end of the world. It is not a battle between the kingdoms. It is the battle between the kingdom of heaven and the kingdom which we can say the kingdom of hell, something like that. That's what I observe from what in Bible it is said. But there are some indications whether this world will end or not. There are some indications exactly. We can say it is said by Jesus Christ in Bible, uh, through which we can be able to know the world is going to end. It is said in the Bible about the end of the world, when this will exactly happen. It is not said it is going to be in the year 2012 or otherwise 2013 or otherwise 2034 or something like that at all. But it is said there are some indications in the moral world when this world will end. So, from the Bible, the chapter Matthew 24th chapter, verses 9 to 14 indicates this one. When his disciples ask him about the destruction of the temple and rebuilding it again. When this question was asked, he was saying so much of things. But the very important verses over there is this one. The verses 9 to 14. Then you will be arrested and handed over to be punished and be put to death. All mankind will hate you because of me. This particular verse is about his disciples, who were his disciples and who are his disciples or followers currently. The people of righteousness, because Jesus Christ taught us the righteousness, the measures of righteousness, how we have to be righteous in the way of the word, in the way of the Bible. He was so righteous and he preached his people his righteousness. And he indicates there will be a time, the time will arise where the righteousness will be persecuted. In the Sermon on the Mount, we can see a similar point where he talks like this: blessed be those who are persecuted because of their righteousness, because the kingdom of heaven is theirs. He clearly points out the righteous will be persecuted for the reason of nothing. The righteous will be marked, black marked or otherwise uh, he says clearly that he will be arrested. All mankind will hate you because of me. Uh, that was this verse, and comes the next one. This particular thing, the righteous people will be persecuted when Christ is saying that particular point also. That is, many will give up their faith at that time. They will betray one another and hate one another. He says, many will give up their faith at that time. Faith means it's faith towards the God, faith towards the morals. Faith is always for that purpose only, for God, to act in the way of God, to act in the way of morals. They will betray one another and hate one another. It will be the time the people who will betray one another and hate one another. Then many false prophets will appear and fool many people. This is another condition he puts on us, and such will be the spread of evil that many people's love will grow cold. Such will be the spread of evil. The evil will spread like anything, that many people's love will grow cold. There will be no value for the love, the love what we are having towards each other. That particular kind of situation we can see nowadays. There is no love between the parents and their children, the sisters and brothers, the friends, the relations, or whatever it is, whoever we love don't have the proper understanding of what it exactly, and they don't give value for that. They give value for the materialistic benefits, the money, and whatever it is we can say. And Jesus says, who will be saved in this time? The next verse says that, but whoever holds out to the end will be saved. And this good news about the kingdom will be preached throughout all the world for a witness to all mankind, and then the end will come. He says, and this, the good news about the kingdom will be preached to all the world for a witness to all mankind. Mankind, what exactly he means of mankind. Man have humanity. Humanity means it is not only towards the other fellow beings, it is towards the other living beings, not towards the other objects, or whatever it is. We have morals, we have some values for each and everything what we have in this world. That is what exactly he says, for a witness to all mankind. Christ, he had some example, he had some sample. He wanted to be an example for the whole mankind. That's why he was born as man, human in this world. And and he says, when this witness which he bears was preached all over the world, then the end will come. So we can understand a situation will arise where the people will betray one another, the righteous will be persecuted. That is the most important thing. The people will betray one another, the people's love will grow, and there will be the lots of false prophets will rise. We can see a lot of prophets in Bible, like Isaiah, Ezekiel, and many more important prophets are there. But the people who are arising as prophets nowadays will be false prophets. They will preach so and so about the world, but they won't be bearing witness to the truth for the mankind. And finally, the end will come. That is what exactly we are understanding from these verses. So we can say that the end will not be on this year 2012, sometimes maybe, but we have to put a question mark whether these conditions which has been set forth by the Jesus Christ is arising nowadays. We can see people quarreling each other between the kingdoms, the fight between the kingdoms, fight between the people, fight between the neighbors. There is another verse, love thy neighbors as thyself. But nowadays, there are a lot of fights between the neighbors, friends, relations, and all happens. And there used to be a lot of betrayals without understanding the exact nature of the human beings. There are a lot of betrayals happen. The writers are marked black. There is no morality in this world. The moral aspects are closed. And finally, we can see a lot of people preaching so and so, X, Y, Z, whatever it is. People's love has gone cold. There are people who can understand, who cannot understand others' love them. And I think we are nearing the situation which Christ has set. There should be some preaching. We should bear witness to the mankind as said by him. This should happen. And we can easily say this is of the days of Armageddon. We are nearing the end.